Hi, welcome to mayowasworld. Okay, so my goal for this whole video is I don't want to edit because I have a lot of things I want to say and I've been so overwhelmed to make a video, and I think it's because I feel very I feel like I'm becoming very critical of my work now, as you have probably seen, my platform has grown and I think I'm scared to make a mistake or say the wrong thing. And so I really want to have this as my goal for this video, is I don't want to edit. So if you see me editing any little small clip here and there, be like, what are you doing? Because I think I'm scared of rawness these days. I'm scared of raw footage. But I think the thing that I really need to do for myself and to present is to present things that are very raw, which leads me into where I am in my life right now. Some of you may know, a lot of you may know, I hope all of you know, I've moved to Nigeria. I've moved to Lagos, and I've been living here for 3 months. And since being here for 3 months, I have not made a YouTube video. I have not really even been posting on Instagram. I think I've made one post in 3 months, which as a content creator, which that word in itself is a lot of pressure, because as a creative, you don't want to feel like you're on especially because this shows life just hits you, and sometimes you need time. So as someone who makes stuff and shares it, I needed to live life. Because moving to Nigeria was one of the hardest, toughest things I've ever done. I've been living here now for 3 months. I feel like, there's so much backstory. And this is the reason I haven't been sharing a lot of things online, is because there's so much backstory that I feel like I want to share, but I feel kind of torn to share it. But some of you may know I was living in Germany. After I was living in Germany, moved to Atlanta. I moved to go stay with my dad. My dad was ill. I got ill 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I went to be helping and be close to my family, because I haven't been close to my family since I was 21. I'm 29 right now. I moved out of America for the first time when I was 21. So I've been out here living for myself for this long. So I haven't been home in a while. I thought it'd be a good idea to go home. I go home, very stressful dynamic in my family. I get kicked out. I came out as gay. I've been gay, but I came out to my family, got kicked out of my house. I moved to London. I was with my partner. I was living there. Then I needed to go again, visa reasons. Moved here to Nigeria because I've always wanted to live in Nigeria. I think a lot of people who are Nigerian, or even not, everybody has this idea when I get enough money, when I get older, I want to go to Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. Everyone has this idea when I get my money, I'm gonna go. But I was let me just go, because I realized that at this point in my life, I don't have any dependencies. And one of the reasons I went back home was to be close to family. But then after getting kicked out from my family, I just was either I could start from scratch in Atlanta, or I could start from scratch in Nigeria. And starting from scratch in Atlanta, when you grow up in a place and then you've been rejected from your family, it's a lot of trauma, it's a lot of pain associated with that place. So I was let me just go to a new place and just, start from scratch. Boom, move to Nigeria. So if you guys know me, I'm tough. First off, Black people are tough. Black people as a whole, we've had to be relocated by choice or without choice for, I think, centuries of our lives. African American people were stolen from West Africa, brought to America. Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians who have had the ability to be able to get out, have been able to go out. Black people have always been moving everywhere. The concept of home as a Black person is very complex, because what is home? And that sounds generic, but really what is home? So when I got kicked out, I felt I had nothing to lose in a way. So I moved to Nigeria, and little background story. Before moving here, I'd only been here one time. Okay, so that's also something that gives context. But I'm the kind of person where if I see something I No, I just be getting messages. That's how I can only say it. I just knew it. I knew it was right. Things was really coming together. So I moved here and I have an Airbnb for a little bit of time. You know, Airbnbs are expensive, and in the meantime, I'm looking for an apartment. The way that process toughened me, that is so, like, looking for a home in Nigeria was the hardest market I've ever actually seen, because like everything is like super extreme. Either places are just like mad expensive and so many people have money here, but then or the area is like not safe. And for me, coming here with no family relationships, with no anything, I needed to really think about those things. And so I was looking for places, and my budget was like needing me to be so far out. But I didn't have, if I'm living that so far away, like it's dangerous for me with no connections. And I like haven't really wanted to share this because I feel like saying that you're in a place, like in a country, and you don't have family connections like that is scary. I also said I was gay, which is scary in this country, right? So when I came here, like blessings on blessings, I had a cousin who I never met before. I really didn't even know about. She had been following me online. She hit me up. Her and I have been very close. So like that's actually the only person that I'm in communication with in my family. When I came, I'm gonna be sharing a lot of like family issues because that's something that I want to be very real about. Is I struggle a lot with family issues. I struggle a lot with family dynamics. I think a lot of queer people struggle a lot with family dynamics in general. But I think one of the biggest reasons I wasn't sharing is because I didn't know how to express myself without addressing these things, because it's a part of my journey. And so when I came here, like one of my uncles, like on my mom's side, who I have a stressed or strangled, the stress relationship with, picked me up from the airport. I didn't get a good vibe from this person. And he later then called, like after I didn't get a good vibe. He just did some things that made me feel unsafe. He then called other people in my family who I'd never met and was telling them that I'm a runs girl, which I don't know if y'all know about that here in Nigeria, but it just means I'm a high-end prostitute and that I'm like not a Christian, like a Satan worshiper, all these little things. He just had spewed all these lies about me, people who I'd never met. That was very discouraging for me and very heartbreaking for me, because I already have a weird relationship with family. So then now I feel like there's not many people who I can who have a good, how do I even put this? It just hurt my feelings. I'm sure you know why. It's like, it's not, and it's also too like no shame at all to people who is sex workers at all. But that's just not what I'm doing here. That's not what I came here to do. That's not what I'm doing. So when someone is saying stuff like that, who is supposed to be family, it's just tiring. But where was I even going with this? I'm even trying to remember my train of thought. I was looking for a place. I was having like, I have the things I've seen in like 3 months living here, like, cause coming to Nigeria, a lot of people come to Nigeria, they have family they stay with, right? They're not having to look in the market for a place, not like having to look for a home. Most people have, you know, Nigeria's the kind of place, you can't just really just come here like that. You have to be very, very street smart, very attuned. And so I was like looking for a place. After my Airbnb ended, I needed to get out of my place quickly. I had been going to home visits, and things about these places I was looking for just wasn't right. Like a lot of homes I don't feel like was built to be homes. Like it feels like things that have been renovated into homes. Like either the kitchen is really small, which seems like a fire hazard, or the something about the security doesn't seem right. Things were always just off. And I didn't want to rush it, because also to Nigeria you have to get a place for 1 year like in advance. So that was also very difficult. And my budget wasn't looking like my budget just wasn't really doing what it should have been doing. Not even doing what it should have been doing. I just didn't have that budget to be able to get a super nice place and like be sorted. So one of these days I stayed in a hotel. The hotel had cockroaches in the bed sheets, bro. Like the way that I screamed, I was crying. It was at midnight that I found it out. I was just so sad. Like sleeping in a room with cockroaches is actually like such a sad experience. The next day I told myself, I was like, I'm just gonna get a nice hotel. I'm tired of trying to like cut corners. I'm just gonna get a nice hotel because I just feel, oh my God. So I got this nice hotel. And when I was there, when I go places, I typically always talk. I'm very social. I was talking with the people who was like cleaning, people who was working at the hotel. Long story shorter, they helped me get the place that I'm living in now. So that in itself was like really a blessing and a beautiful experience, because they helped me get that place the next day. Like as soon as I told the person that was working as like in the hotel, they helped me get the place the next day. I say that all to say, just like, even though I don't have family connections, I didn't have anybody who could help me in this way, just being able to communicate with real people, you just see the power of like what they can do. And I think there's this misconception that like Nigerians are very untrustworthy. Like even when we get things like, oh, Nigerians are scammers, and like these kind of languages like always thrown at, which I think is actually just very anti-black, because what's the biggest scam if not colonialism? What's the biggest scam if not stealing people to another country to have them build labor for you? That sounds like a scam to me. So I don't know about this internet stuff that people think is like seasons all Nigerians. It's not like that. But boom, I got this place off of the glory of people, but then now I had to like get furniture, because in Nigeria like it comes with nothing. Had to build everything from scratch. So I've been here and everything feels like I've just started from, it just feels like I started from scratch, and I feel like I've invested so much here. But like I feel pain, and I still feel sadness, and I still feel conflict. And so the thing that hurts me the most right now, and I've been struggling with, is like I finally got in communication with my mom after 8 months of me getting kicked out. Now that I'm talking to her, she's just denying kicking me out. She's saying that the whole thing was made up. So for me, that's like mad gaslighting. That's just, why would I make that up? It just once again makes me feel like retreating even farther. It's like, these are the kind of things that I mean. It's like, I may have certain things in my life, but I feel like there are other aspects that I'm constantly grieving. Grieving my family dynamic, unsure if it will ever get better, unsure of what that even looks like. But also just like accepting where things are at. And that's kind of like something that I like have been thinking a lot about recently, is like, I don't want to be an inspiration. Like I've moved to Nigeria by myself, and I'm here for at least a year. And I don't want to be an inspiration to people, because I feel like something I've learned is like, you know, most YouTubers, most people, they always give you this message that's like, if you work hard enough, you'll achieve it. Like if you just work and you just push through, you'll get to where you need to be. And I never want to be someone who tells you that, because that is not real. That is not, nothing is promised. And I think one of the most revolutionary things for me actually has been not to keep going, but to quit, to say, to stop. Like if I push you to anything, I want to push you all to quit, because I think I've been raised to go, make the best of everything, don't look on the negative side. All these things just makes me lie to myself. And I think for me, one of the best feelings for myself was when I was able to tell the truth and be honest with myself and be honest with my situation. So I want to say, when you pause, when you're forced to take a step back and see that maybe you shouldn't keep going, like maybe things just need to take a break. I felt like when I was in America, there's a trajectory of like, you go to America, you know, I was doing stand-up, you do your comedy, you hit the top. Like it's like everyone thinks things are so linear. And I felt like the fighter in me wants to show that I can do it. The fighter in me wants to prove that I can make my family dynamic work. If I just make enough money, maybe my family will like me more. Those things don't happen. And I had to say I quit this country. I quit living in America. I quit trying to make myself work in this system. I don't want to do this shit anymore. Certain things, like I like being in spaces with all black people. I feel like we think that's like mad radical and impossible, but I just have always liked that. So being here in Nigeria, I feel comfortable. And there are certain things I get here that I never got in America. One thing I really like about being in Nigeria, okay, there's a lot of things I really like, but one thing I like is like, I like how spiritual this place feels. I like how close to my intuition I feel when I'm here. I like how everything has a meaning. I'm Yoruba. So then you start to see like the meaning behind so many things. I feel like I'm constantly learning, and that has also been why I haven't been posting, because I've been taking in all the things that life has been giving me, life has been throwing at me. And the other thing I love the most about being in Nigeria is the water. I love the beach, I love the ocean, I love the sea, I love water, I love being submerged in water. I love swimming in the ocean, which is very weird to Nigerians. But to me, it's just so soothing, and that's something that I have taken into my life practice, to go to the water very often and swim in the water very often, and it does something to me. And these are the small things that I don't think people tell you can make you feel happy, but to me it does. Like, I have a lot of things I have issues with here, but simple things like being with Black people and being in the ocean, that like really takes our mental health to like a really high place. And in that regards, I feel very joyous. But one thing I've learned since being here in Nigeria is I don't want to give this impression that you can get to where you are by working very hard, because there are so many people that work very, very hard, harder than me, have more talent than me, probably have more to give than me, but because of circumstances, because of privileges, because of situations, it's just not fair. And I think this is one of my things I've been thinking about, with like not wanting to be an inspiration and not wanting to tell people that if you just work hard enough it would change, because I think that ends up just fueling capitalism. It ends up blaming people for not working hard enough and saying that the reason you're in the situation you're in is because you're not working hard enough. Like, I don't even know how to quantify like work either. And I think I also just want to show that like things don't have a happy ending. It doesn't have to have a happy ending. And I have like I've been ingrained to like want to be like, okay, I've been struggling with my family, but at least I really don't want to do that. I actually just want to lay things out, show them, present them, and just keep going, because that's how life is. Life doesn't always end. Oh, sorry, I was checking in my camera, I'm still going. Life doesn't always end on a positive. And I think that's the things that I've just been seeing. And some things is always just gonna be painful. Like when you think about like grieving, like situations don't necessarily get better. If you're grieving something or someone, like the solution isn't the person coming back, because that can't be possible in every situation, but it's just every day you learn to live with it. And I have a lot of things, and being in Nigeria has made certain things just come to the forefront of like that grief, of like the strained relationship I have with my family, of like having no communication with my siblings, no communications with anybody, and being here in this country alone with no backup, and I'm gay. Bro, that shit is like, that is like, you cannot say I'm not tough. You cannot say I'm not tough. I'm also soft, but like, there's certain things like, for me, like, I just don't want to lie about who I am. I don't want to lie about my situation. Like, I just want to be very honest with my reality. Yeah. I struggle too, like, I'm still trying to make friends, and I don't mean just anybody. Like, I'm very careful with who I have in my life, but these things are just difficult when you move to a new place. And but Nigeria is a harder place than most places. Like, this city is like, honestly, like, as they say, if you make it in this city, you can make it anywhere. But what does it really mean to make it in a city? Because like, what is it? Just, to me, it's just surviving. Every day I wake up in this city, I'm just like, wow, I've done one day. I feel very proud of myself just by getting by every day, because you see that not everyone has that everywhere. Like, life is, wow. So I'm trying to understand the city. And I think, I do a lot of things that people say you shouldn't do. People say, oh, don't move to Nigeria if you don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. I'm figuring it out as I go. I'm figuring it out day by day, and I'm okay with that, because I have a good intuition, and I know that the answers will slowly unravel to myself. But I feel like I just wanted to say like what I'm going through, because I felt like I kept moving farther and farther away from expressing myself. And I've made 2 videos already, and I just couldn't post them for some reason. It just didn't feel right to post them. And I'm gonna force myself to post this, because I'm not gonna edit it, so I'm not gonna give myself more labor. And yeah, this video is very long. It's not a typical I moved to Nigeria thing. It's not that, but I will put the rest, maybe I'll put the 2 videos that I didn't publish on my Patreon. But I've been living life and trying to just keep my head above the water day by day. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to mention. I want to thank everybody who's like rocked with me and just given me the space to process and to like make things on my own time. Someone wrote me a message and they were like, maybe the reason that you haven't been posting so much is because you write about heavy things and you need to not write about heavy things and maybe just talk about things that are like light. But like, you don't tell me that. I'm gonna do what I want to do. In my mind, you know, like when I talk about things I talk about, it's not like I'm like, oh, this is heavy things. Like I just talk about things that my brain thinks about. And being in Nigeria has like really unraveled a lot to me about colonialism and the ways it's happening. And why words like post-colonialism is a fucking joke, but I am taking in. So I'm gonna keep talking about the shit I've been talking about. I just am re-strategizing and maybe, yeah, like I just wanna get better at not producing such refined things because life is not refined and life has pauses and life has ums and uhs and awkward moments. And so if you've made it to the end, you're a real one. If you have made it to the end, tell me what your favorite plant is because I just got a water lily and I want to show you it because it's so pretty and I'm so happy that I can keep it in my house. 1 second. Look at this water lily. Can you see it? I got it from my house, which makes me really happy because I think it's so amazing that a plant can just exist with just water. I'm a water person. So yeah, Nigeria's been, hey, it's been good. I've had moments of joy. I've had grief. I've had issues. I've seen a lot of beauty. And I'm here for God knows how long. So yes, let me know what your favorite plant is. Let me know what you think of my water lily. If you made it to the end, right? You that bitch part 2 because this is a long ass video. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Bye.